Hey, how's everyone doing today? I wanted to come on here real quick. I'm getting ready to go pick my grandson up after school. I love doing that. But I've been really thinking of things to try to help the people who are reaching out to me, and thank you. I'm trying to get back to everyone. I'll answer people in Messenger, and then it takes me sometimes a couple days to get back to you. Excuse me, sorry, so bear with me. Um, but a lot of people are still asking me about mindfulness because they said it's hard because when they're trying to be mindful and positive, the negative thoughts and the self-sabotaging talk, all of that stuff that goes on in our heads, uh, is they can't stop it. So, me with my notes here. Mindfulness is noticing your thoughts and emotions and in your body sensations and all of that without judgment. Uh, so one of the people said to me, well, then I start beating myself up for not being mindful, and that's don't do that. So trauma keeps your brain, like I said, in that reactive mode. Your amygdala is always on point, and I say it's like having a smoke detector that's set on extreme sensitive. So even if you're cooking, the heat from the stove is turning it on. That's what someone with PTSD or severe trauma is dealing with. And I always say too, it doesn't have to be a whole lifetime of trauma for someone to be affected. Someone can have one event, a traumatic event is very, very serious and is traumatizing as traumatizing as it is for people that have, lifetime of trauma. I had psychological child abuse, and then I went into getting myself in abusive relationships and friendships, and just in my own head, my abusive self-talk. So I'm 58 years old. I'm today years old when I realized that I don't have to continue listening to that, and I actually deserve to be happy. I deserve to have peace, and I deserve to make better decisions in my life. I'm where I'm at right now, which is not a good place. They're not where I wanted to be at this age at all. And like I always say too, the same with addictions and everything. No addict wakes up one day, as a teenager and says, I want to be in prison when I grow up, or I want to be an addict and kill myself, or you know what I'm saying, or be an alcoholic. I want to grow up and be it. Nobody does that. I didn't say I wanted to grow up and be, I used to call myself a psycho. And I had a doctor that used to kid around with me, and he left me a prescription on the front desk the one day in an envelope. And when I went up and asked for it, I was giving her my name, and she's like, I don't have anything here. And I said, but I'm sorry, but I know that you do. I'm not calling you a liar. I said, and she said, she's going through some names, and she says, Sybil. So I can laugh about it now, kind of, but he knew me enough. He'd known me since I was 12 years old. So it wasn't just a doctor being rude. It was an inside joke between him and I. Point being, a lot of women and people in general too will be diagnosed bipolar, and really, it's trauma. It's just unreleased, undiagnosed. It's not being dealt with. So you're doped up on medications for this or for that, and then you go around wondering why you're not getting better, or why you're still feeling this way, or why you can't, stop this anxiety or these voices. All of that is trauma, is those parts of your brain, and a lot of times the medications are just numbing it. It's not dealing with what's causing it. So, and again, I always say, if you're with a doctor, psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever, you're on medications, please don't, do any of the little, rituals or little sessions or whatever I give you without checking with a doctor if you have serious PTSD or trauma. If you know yourself, If things trigger you very, very easily, then please don't do this. Talk to your doctor first. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I have over 2 decades of studying and learning and researching, and I have a lifetime of living through it. And I dealt with most of it the wrong way for most of my life. And now, as I'm learning these tools, wow, I could have used it back then, and maybe I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So that's what I'm sharing. I'm sharing my life and the tools that I have now and how they're helping me. most of the things that I do have been proven to help others. That's why I incorporated them into what I do. I became a belief clearing practitioner and certified in hypnosis, not to get credentials, but because I was trying to heal myself, and those things work amazingly. And belief clearing is a lot of what I do with you guys on these videos, as well as tapping. Tapping is another one to release all kinds of stuff. All these things are proven. They've been tested scientifically. So what I wanted to try to maybe, let me see, let me look at my notes real quick here. I want to try to help a little bit more. So mindfulness is noticing your thoughts and emotions, like I said, without judgment. So, pause, take some nice, the 3 deep breaths that I talk about, check in. That's what I call it, check in. So if something triggers you, if you're in a place where you can do it, obviously, and you get triggered, check in. Checking in is taking those 3 deep breaths, closing your eyes for a minute, and just calming down, because nobody is going to make any type of decision in a fight, flight, or freeze or fawn environment in their own head. They're not going to make a good decision, and trust me when I tell you, I know that to be fact. So you're going to take those breaths and then notice what you feel in your body, what part of your body, and just observe it. And then reactive mode. What is my notes here? Next time a strong feeling comes up silently. So now that you being mindful is noticing that, and then creating that space between you and the thought, and saying, okay, I just take those 3 breaths, get calm, and then acknowledge that thought, take a second with it, and then in order to release it, you're going to say something positive. You're going to change it around. And I know at one point years back, I was shopping for something for Christmas for my grandson. And things were tight. And when I got into the store and started walking around and looking at prices of things, I already knew what I wanted to get him, but I knew I probably didn't have enough money. If I got him that, it would only be that one thing. So as I'm looking, I started getting anxious because I know how much money I have, and as I'm even walking around and looking, it's not adding up here. And in my head, I started beating myself up. Well, you should have had this thought. You should have thought about this sooner. Why did you wait till now? Why didn't you save more money at that point? Why are you even in that job? Why are you even living here? Why are you? Then everything. You know what I mean? So everything was hitting me at once, and I'm standing there, and now I'm releasing cortisol. My body's releasing all this stuff and all of this, the negative energies coming inside me, and now I feel myself trembling. Do you ever get those internal trembles where your body is literally trembling inside? I had myself a wreck. And I texted my daughter and I said, I don't even have them. I don't even know. And she said, so it's not even about that. Get him a couple small things that are meaningful. It's that trauma part of us that just, and we don't have control over it yet. This is what I'm trying to help you with. It's not an excuse, but when those hormones and all that stuff kicks in your body and then goes to your brain, and now your prefrontal cortex, which is supposed to, help you with that. Did I write that part down? I wanted to explain that better, and I don't know if I kept that part in my notes. Because someone asked me about that too, that I talk about the parts of the brain, and I try not to confuse you. No. Yeah, I don't really have exactly what I was trying to go into more, but what it is your prefrontal cortex. I was trying to look if I had a better way to explain it. It goes offline. So I really wanted to explain it to you. That really annoys me. So technically what's happening is your nervous system is so overwhelmed and overactivated that it's giving off danger signs in the slightest thing. You can have your toaster pop, and you know how a normal person will jump for a second. Oh, that'll jar anyone, and then they move on. I, for one, will stand there for a few minutes, or not minutes maybe, but it takes time for my body to calm down. I start that internal shaking. I could feel my stomach twist, doors slamming. Immediately, even if someone doesn't mean to, a cabinet slamming, my stomach twist in knots. And even though I'm telling myself you're safe, it's taking time for my body to catch up. So that's something I'll touch on more in another video. Like I said, I had thought I had taken the notes, and like I say, I'm not perfect. I don't know it all. That's why I'm telling you to go talk to your doctor before even doing some of these exercises that I do. I'm just sharing what works for me, and hoping that other people don't have to go their entire lives thinking they're broken, or there's no help for me. Because there really is. Rewiring the brain is not easy, though. It's work. So again, I always say, you either want to be stuck where you're at, or you want to help yourself. And you're the only one that's going to do it. I say that all the time too. Only you can save you. Only you can make you happy. Only you can really give you the love and everything that you need. It doesn't matter what people think of you. It doesn't matter if someone loves you. God loves you, the divine, whatever you call it, because there's so many different beliefs and religions out there. And you have to learn to love yourself. And it's not easy. You have to stand every day in the mirror and tell yourself, look in your own eyes and tell yourself that you love yourself. I love you. I know you tried. The thing that, what is it? Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you. To you, to yourself, to the universe, please forgive me for things that I've said, I've done. Please forgive me for trying to survive. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I hurt you or made mistakes. And then I love you. You love yourself. And then thank you. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to start again. It's however you want to say it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Regardless, there's so many ways. Ho'oponopono. You have to look it up because I butcher it all the time. It doesn't matter. I've been studying that. It's a Hawaiian little mantra. So that I learned back in like 2019, and I still can't say it right. And if you know me, you know me. I butcher things. I'll call people the wrong name, and then if I can't get it straight, then I let the person know kindly, this is probably what I'm going to call you. We had a friend years back. His name was Dane, and accidentally I called him Dune, and he became Dune. I have another friend, if any of you watch me, his name is Nolan, and I called him Norton, and that became his nickname. Years later, I hear people calling him Norton, and I was the one that started it. I'm kind of a goofball, too. I don't do things to be rude. I'm trying to get some laughs because, that saved me. Laughing, music, and now this is going to give me the tools and the coping mechanisms that are actually healthy. The music and all of that kind of got me by, and the numbing that I did, unfortunately, got me through. But what's really helping me process all of this and releasing it and learning to be mindful, I'm learning all of that now, and that's why I'm sharing. Because trust me, it hasn't been an easy life, and it hasn't been for a lot of people. We're still here. If you're watching me and you're sitting here, we're still here. We're warriors. We really are. We've made it, and what all we can do is share what we know and try to help others. That's literally what we can do. I still have people saying to me, well, I went through the same things as you. Why am I here? To help somebody. If you're still here too and you've been through it, and you watch me and you've learned these few little things, maybe go try to share them with someone else, or go research something that I said that you would, like tapping. I thought it was odd, and I saw people do it a few times, and I'm watching them do all this stuff and tapping around and tapping their heads, and I'm like, okay. And when I tried it and I've done it, it works. It literally works because you're tapping on meridians, on pressure points and stuff of your body, and you're reaffirming positive things into your head. And again, that's why I always say, just the past couple days, I've been a little tired, a little nasally and whatever, a little and I told my daughter I was getting well. I go back to the story with my grandson. Now, instead of hyperventilate, I know I go off, and so anyway, back to the story. I'm ready to hyperventilate in the store over this thing. I was able to get two things anyway because there was sales going on. And now I don't panic or anything. It's hard to explain, but if I already know I don't have it, first of all, I'm not going to put myself in that situation and have my, going up and down these aisles and in this certain thing, don't put yourself there. Don't go in that aisle if you know that's where all of the, big Lego things are that $150, $200, some of them that he looks at, don't go in that aisle. And then don't tell yourself you're broke. Don't say, like my family always said, we have no luck, we're always broke. And I've always told myself that. And instead of saying that, you say, I have plenty of money. Money flows to me easily and freely. I have enough money to share with others. Literally keep saying that. And it's energy. It's all energy. So the more positive energy you bring in, the more positive things you tell your brain, the more positive things you're going to focus on. You achieve what you focus on. You achieve what you talk about. You achieve what you think about. That's what you're pulling in. So if you're sitting there focusing like I used to, that's why I said I'm not here to preach. That was me. Oh my God, I don't have enough money. I have a flat tire. Now what am I going to do? My whole life, this is all these things. And everything, because the part of your brain that's trying to save you is reminding you of all those things. But we have power over that part of our brain. We have control over that part to say, no, yeah, that all happened, but that's past. This is now. And you have to take those deep breaths and let yourself know, hey, like I said, you can't push them away, but accept it. Okay, this happened. I had a flat tire, or my transmission went and I didn't have them. All these things are going to be reminded and brought up, and it's going to make this situation, first of all, you're going into either fight, flight, or freeze or whatever. You're going to make wrong decisions, or you're going to not make a decision at all because you're going to shut down. So it's mindfulness, and it's awareness and self-awareness of what you're thinking about and what you're doing and what you're putting out in the world, what you're saying to yourself. I'm not saying it's easy, but after a while it'll happen. And like I said a few different times, I do it with my grandson now. If he's doing something, he says, I'm so stupid. I look at him and he says, oh, that's right, I'm not stupid, but this thing that I did. And then I'll catch him. What was he saying? Something too. I can never learn how to do it like they can. And I said, excuse me? And he says, I can learn anything too. And even if I can't do that way, my way might be something that I can help someone else with. You know what I mean? Like, because he's trying to, he makes Minecraft. He builds things in Minecraft, and he really is amazing, I have to say. And not just because he's my grandson. I really think that he could be like an architect because he blows my mind. He's even built with Legos, like 3D things where you can look down on it and see all the stuff inside. He was like 6 years old building those things. So I remind him all the time because I don't want him to do what I did. I was 47 years old in pharmaceutical college telling myself, oh my God, what am I doing here? When the dean one day said, you're in medical school, I was like, that almost shut me down because I barely made it out of high school because I didn't really care. So now I'm here and I'm in medical, me? So anyone would lie. Christine's in medical school. Well, I really wanted it and I really enjoyed it. The body, learning about the body systems is so fascinating that I couldn't stop. So I made honor roll and I passed all of my courses. I did really well. Again, unfortunately, money became the issue back then and kept me from continuing. It was money. But all of my life, until I was in my 40s, my mid 40s, I thought I was too stupid. I'd gone to college for some, I was in college for banking, a few things like that, and I thought that that was nothing. Well, that was banking courses for, it was mortgage and finance and mortgage. That wasn't nothing. Just because it was me, but if someone else, if a friend or somebody told me, I'd be like, wow, because that is great. That's your wow. And then I was trying to do as a medical assistant. I started studying to be a medical assistant. I ended up quitting that for some reason or another because I self-sabotaged everything in my life for my whole life. So now I'm aware for the first time in my life. And I just posted the other day about my book. I Barely Talk, Turning Wounds into Wisdom. If you don't know me, I'm Christine. I'm the founder and owner of Whispers of the Wounded Soul. I'm just taking people along for the healing ride of trauma. I have 20 years at least of research and studying and classes and courses and webinars. I never use them on myself. I have books and books and books and notes. And I finally one day broke down, collapsed, had a breakdown, whatever you want to call it. Not good. And while I was in that breakdown, I started healing. I started journaling and putting the things that I had learned incorporating them into my own life. And little by little, I started releasing all this stuff, releasing things that I realized, like, why am I even carrying this around with me? Like I'm weighing my brain and my body down with this stuff that doesn't even, half of it doesn't even belong to me, and some of it, it's past. What does it do? It's not doing anything for me. It's literally and physically weighing me down. So I ended up writing a book. I have a full memoir I'm still working on because it's people have told me for years that know me, you should write a book. Well, this is a little thinner, but this is more of guiding people through the different points of my life from before I was born up till just last year, and we're in 2026 now, how I handled the different situations, the different traumas in my life back then. And at the end of each chapter, there's something called a whisper back, and now it's going to guide you like into a shadow work question. What would have worked for me back then? If I would have thought about this or known this, or even some little calming rituals, putting one hand on your heart and one on your belly, and taking some nice deep breaths, and just centering yourself and just trying to relax. There's all kinds of little ritual things that you can do to, little mini exercises to bring yourself back to calm. And I didn't have those back then. So that's why I'm sharing them in my book. And there's also a companion journal, which is Whispers of Healing, The Wisdom Within. And that is just shadow work questions and places for you to journal, to put your own notes, some of those little mantras and little affirmations in the back of the book. It's mainly for you and guiding you through some of the things that I went through. And again, I have to say over and over again, don't sit and do these things by yourself if you're going through serious trauma or or suicidal tendencies or anything like that, any type of self-harm. Check with your doctor first, because even though these things are proven to work, it depends the state of mind you're in. A lot of what I seem to do is after years and years of it, not necessarily processing wounds of today, unless it's something that that we all death. Unfortunately, we all have to deal with death. So a lot of these are really good for coming back to your head too when you're going on and on, because I know anytime there was a death, and I've been through a tremendous amount, unfortunately, seriously, there was always that guilt that I carried around, guilt because I didn't talk to them enough, or I didn't do this, or I said that, and we all of that kind of stuff. So we start beating ourselves up even when someone's passed on. They're at peace, literally eternal peace. They would want nothing more than to see you happy and have a beautiful life. And now you're sitting there beating yourself up because a conversation or something, they're still there. Their energy's around you. Their love is still there for you. It doesn't go away. And that, again, is what you need to focus on. Be mindful. I used to do that to myself. I would think about my mom, and wow, what did I have? Maybe 5 years with her. And for those 5 years, I had to watch her die after not having her my whole life. That was all I thought about. Now I can say it and push it back, not because I'm pushing it under the rug, but because I've already dealt with it back when I did my shadow work. Okay, so don't do this if the wound is still really intense and you're already getting help for it. These shadow work things and mindfulness and all of that is just trying to bring your focus back when your mind wants to go there. And again, it's trying to save you. It thinks you're in trouble again. It never releases itself enough, because especially if you haven't had any peace or calmness since the event. I've had chronic trauma. So my stomach, like I said, a toaster will go off and I'll be jarred internally for a good 20 minutes. And a normal person would jar for that second and move on, because their body's not prepared. Their body's not set for that. Our bodies are the first line. When the amygdala is watching for danger and it thinks it notices something, our body is what takes on next automatically. And now it's putting us there as if we're in that predicament right the second, that thing that traumatized us in the first place. So hopefully I'm making sense and not confusing anyone. And I will re-watch this, and if I think it's that bad, I won't post it. So be careful what you're saying. And mindfulness, like I said, you don't have to fight your thoughts. You observe them, and then you choose your response. And just try to choose something that's more positive. So for everything that happens in your life, you're driving along and you have a flat tire. Well, maybe it was saving me from an accident up ahead. I'm trying to think of other things, and right offhand I can't for some reason. Any type of situation, is there's got to be something positive. And if right at that moment, and I think I talk about it in my book, if you can't think of something positive at that moment in that situation, then that's something that you're going to journal on. And I talk about journaling all the time. Sit down later. Close your eyes, take your breaths, think about that thought and where you're feeling it in your body. What part of your body is holding that thought? And you will. If you get quiet enough, and like I say, no substances, no television, no radio, no phone, no nothing. You in silence, you in the dark, you in a candle, whatever. And think about that thing that's bothering you, and then focus on where you feel it the most. What part of your body's holding it? And then you can put your hand on that part of your body and talk to yourself and help you self-release it. You're safe right now. And especially if you are. If you're sitting in a room and you're able to do this, at that moment, you're safe. If you have to go sit in your car, if you have to do it while you're on the toilet, if you're a person that doesn't have privacy and that's where you feel safe. To be honest with you, a lot of times in my shower is where I have my moments of where I come to peace, because I let the water run on me and I consider the water as cleansing me. And it is. I'm grounding, I'm cleansing. Thank you for this beautiful, clean water. Thank you for this opportunity of a brand new day. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to make choices and all these things that I've learned. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to help others. I'm still here. So like I said, for those of you that say, well, I don't even know why I'm here because I've been through it all too, you're still here. So you can let someone else know, hey, I just found out, or I watched Christine or something and realized, wow, it wasn't me, or I'm not broken. There's so many different ways that we can help ourselves and others, and just by being mindful and changing those thoughts. So I will quickly pull a Mind Oracle card and see what kind of message. I will ring my bell. I've had some people say, but you didn't ring your bell, because it does just clear the energy. And thank you, our spirit guides, our ancestors, our guardian angels, whoever watches over us. Thank you for the message that I'm going to see. Thank you for the confirmation on something I'm already thinking about. And the card that flipped is focus. You're being asked to shift your focus away from what isn't working and towards what is. Paying extra attention to where you place your focus is the first step towards creating an amazing life. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Careful where you're focusing your attention on. Wow. And I want to do an inner child oracle quickly. And especially for those of us who've, wow. I'm going to pull it because it fell. Get lost. Card number 15. Sorry for my nails. Get lost. Have you ever gotten lost in your travels only to find an unknown treasure along the way? A treasure that could only be found if you had not known your way. As adults, we pride ourselves on knowing the way we should go and following it. But as children, the way we felt we should go was always the way we found ourselves to already be. There is magic in those lost places, for only when we do not know the way, we are open enough for something unexpected to find us. If you have pulled this card, it might be time to allow yourself to get a little lost. Be open to new experiences and allow for the magic of imagination to pull you into its world. Let your intuition guide you in this practice. It could be through a new idea or a new way of viewing the world. It could be through creating a new piece of artwork or by writing an untold story. Let your imagination run free and do what connects you to the wonderment of childhood, where anything is possible and the extraordinary lies just around the corner. How does it feel in your body when you think about an idea of being a little lost? Do you feel excitement or dread? Ask yourself why you might feel this way around the idea of being lost, and is there a way to release the desire to be in control around the unknown? So there's a couple little messages to leave you with. I thank you guys for joining me, for sharing, for supporting me, and for coming along on this healing journey with me. I know there's a lot of you that message me in private because you don't want to be out there. But if you have a message to share and you've been through something and you're still here, you might have a story too. It wasn't easy putting myself out here, and it takes a lot to sit here and say all this and do all this and wonder what type of judgment or something I'm going to get. But I feel like if I don't share, you're not going to know that I've been through it. And like I said, even in my book, Turning Wounds into Wisdom, I'm sharing my life, and sometimes it's odd to know that people are reading it. But I had people say to me, "Oh my gosh, I don't feel so alone anymore." That is huge. That is the reason I did it, and that they know that there's hope. So thank you again, guys. I appreciate everything. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.